Hi, friend. You're about to listen to a conversation that I had with Alexander Morsink, who's the co-founder and CEO of Equivesto, a Canadian online investment platform, equity crowdfunding portal, and licensed exempt market dealer. Alexander is also an angel investor and board member of the Niagara Angel Network. Alexander is a member of the Registrant Advisory Committee of the Ontario Securities Commission. He also plays an active role in the Canadian startup ecosystem, acting as a mentor and advisor to both entrepreneurs and other angel investors at several startup accelerators and universities. Enjoy the conversation. Alexander Morsink, what is the founding story of Equivesto?
So Equivesto was created by myself and my co-founder, Ryan Correa, back in 2017. And essentially, we sort of came together with two separate problems. I was looking to start investing in private opportunities and startups and early stage businesses in Canada. And he had been founding a number of different businesses and had some difficulty raising capital. And we both sort of realized, okay, clearly there's challenges in investors getting access to early stage investment opportunities. At the same time, we learned that historically it had actually been illegal for members of the general public to invest into private companies unless they were friends and family of the private company or were actually high net worth individuals called accredited investors. So there was literally a law that said, okay, you have to be, wealthy or connected to be able to participate in these types of deals. Around that time in 2016, something called equity crowdfunding was starting to be created, and sort of the ideas, the concepts of it were being discussed in Canada and the US. And the idea of equity crowdfunding was really to take the concept of sort of general crowdfunding, where a crowd of individuals all provide small amounts of money, towards pre-purchasing something or donating to a cause, and apply that to actually investing in and buying shares in private businesses. And so we saw that as sort of a momentous change in the way the investment landscape would look sort of in the future. Because basically, up until that point, high net worth people had been investing in private businesses. They helped those businesses grow and become more successful. When they had made lots of money and grown really big, they sold and exited their shares by going public, which is then when the rest of us all got to participate. And so you had huge asset creation being had for wealthy individuals, but not necessarily available to the general public. And with this change in rules, suddenly the public would also be legally able to access and participate in this wealth creation in a sort of more equitable manner. And so we said, okay, we need to get involved in this. We have to somehow create one of these businesses. We had no idea what was involved. We learned that you had to be something called an exempt market dealer. Didn't know what that was. So taught ourselves Canadian securities law. We learned what it meant to become an exempt market dealer, which is rather difficult. Built the technology platform and actually submitted to the Ontario Securities Commission, our regulator, and got ourselves licensed as an EMD. That whole process took about 3.5 years or so. And then we finally launched Equivesto in 2020.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. So, as you think about how you've been able to scale Equivesto and you're thinking about your leadership journey so far, what would you say has been the biggest challenge that you faced and how were you able to overcome it?
So I think, you know, being successful in business, there's so many different things that people can attribute it to. I think the largest percent of it is probably luck. So that's important. Being lucky and having the right timing is going to be critical. So if everyone just goes out and has a rabbit foot or whatever, that's a good first step. But you can make yourself more lucky by sort of applying yourself in the right way. But in terms of the sort of largest leadership challenges, I think knowing what advice is good advice and what advice is bad advice. One of the sort of challenges that we put towards our entrepreneurs is they need to be supremely confident in their idea, in their vision to sort of push forward, get through 200 or 300 no's before getting a yes. But at the same time, they need to be self-reflective enough to actually take the right feedback, the good feedback, and use that to improve or adjust their business or their plan to become more successful. And that's a very, very difficult balance because on the one side, you want self-belief almost to the point of narcissism where you're just kind of, I know what's right and everybody else is wrong. And then on the other side, you want sort of deep thought and understanding and empathy and compassion for other people to really learn and sort of improve your business. So figuring out the right balance for that, so therefore the right advice to take, when's the right moment to pivot or to change. That's always sort of I would say a critical challenge for any leader.
Thank you for sharing that. And if you're thinking right now about Equivesto and your current vision for the organization, if you're able to perhaps share that and maybe go into some of the top priorities that you have as a leader right now, because that's always intriguing to learn based on where you're at in terms of the growth trajectory of the organization and how you identify and set priorities and then go about executing them. So really, I'm curious about the vision and the top priorities that you have on the table.
Absolutely. So I'll start with the vision. Our vision was always to become sort of a platform, a location where all Canadian investors could come to access a variety of private investments and ideally get to the position where Canadians see private investments as one piece of their portfolio, certainly not the largest piece, but one piece of their portfolio. And then Equivesta would be the place they would go to access basically a whole very, very wide range of all of those private investments. So they would have them all sort of managed in one location. So you'd have, Wealthsimple or RBC or Scotiabank for your, public investments or Questrade or whoever you're working with. And then for your private investments, you would come to Equivesto and it would all be there for you. So that's sort of the long-term vision. One decision that we made as an organization, with our investors when we were way back at the beginning was we really wanted to approach sort of a startup and our entrepreneurship journey a little bit differently than what would be the standard approach for a startup. So most startups, the goal is growth ahead of everything else. So you raise tons of capital very quickly. You do whatever you can to drive top line growth, meaning you're aiming to just boost revenue and you kind of ignore costs. You allow costs to sort of balloon so that you can drive revenue. And so lots of startups are typically not profitable for many, many, many years. Some of them go public and they're still not profitable. And they say, you know what, we'll make so much revenue, we'll figure out the profit later on. And we sort of made the opposite choice. So our perspective was, okay, we want to make sure we can launch this business and get to profitability as quickly as possible and then grow under our own profits. If we do raise capital, we can certainly do that and when it makes sense. But by becoming profitable, we remove the necessity of capital raising and protect the business itself for the long term. So Equivesto was successful in doing that. We became profitable multiple years ago. And so right now, when we look at growth, when we look at expansion, we always look at it from the perspective of, continuing to be profitable and just sort of expanding what works. By focusing on profitability so early, you remove the permission to just kind of be dumping funds into things that don't work. You have to figure out what actually generates you a return very, very quickly. And so we've been able to sort of run the business a little bit differently than a traditional startup, but in a way that really preserves that long-term value.
Hmm. I appreciate you sharing that. And there are a few other businesses I'm familiar who really operate in that fashion, but indeed, the vast majority of startups are all about growth as quickly as possible. And you know, too often they run out of capital because the revenue versus expenditures model doesn't really work
Right.
as
That's
quick.
actually the number one reason for failure of a business is running out
Mhm.
of capital.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something we definitely wanted to avoid.
And so if you're thinking about the arc of your career, your personal experiences, and that have influenced you to approach things in the way that you do, how would you describe your life journey so far? So we're going back a little bit further before you even started Equivesto. Are you able to walk us through your journey so far?
Certainly. So I think the before starting Equivesto, I was working for Scotiabank. Initially, I was working in corporate banking, specifically for the financial institutions team, and then I switched and was working in the commercial banking team, essentially as a loan underwriter and a manager in that area. Um, and I always sort of had this concept that I wanted to be starting a business of some sort, but I think a lot of times people are so focused on the idea that they want to start a business, they're not able to actually understand specific problems well enough to know what problems actually need to be solved. Um, so by taking time working sort of in industry, I got a lot more sort of experience and then was able to really start seeing, okay, where are there sort of more niched pain points or niched problems that can be solved and through my experience develop the understanding of how to solve those. And so if you're able to take that time and really focus on, okay, what are problems that need solving but are specific enough that you have the right skill set and the tools to actually provide a useful solution, but also widespread enough that you can scale that business much larger. That's sort of a critical part. So I was able to spend time there knowing that I wanted to be creating my own business at some point in the future. And so focusing on that, coming up eventually with a problem that I felt the most confident around solving. And then, you know, other than luck, probably the largest success factor for any one individual that I have ever encountered is always kind of grit, that never giving up mentality. And so then it just became, okay, not allowing anything to happen other than the business being successful, which takes a lot of work, but that's one way where some people can have talent, some people can be smarter than others, whatever. The one thing that you have control of as a person is the amount of time and effort that you put into whatever activity it is you're doing. And so maybe you determine, okay, in your full-time job you're working for somebody else, you don't want to put in all that effort even if you could, because somebody else owns that business. But when it's yours and you have ownership of it, then that's one area that if you put in the work, you will hopefully see the dividends later.
That's really helpful. This is something I appreciate about you. I remember booking a demo of Equivesto, and we had a call, and I remember how in how much depth you went in explaining the broader ecosystem, not just your platform. And then you spoke at an event that I organized. At the CoStar office, if I remember correctly, and we're kind of continuing the journey. And there's definitely a lot happening in your space from uh, financial industry regulatory perspective. There's a lot of opportunities that I'm sure you're pursuing while staying balanced in terms of how you're allocating your internal resources to be able to grow. If you're to think through all the different challenges, all the different successes that you've had so far, is there a main life lesson that you've learned and you feel that if others paid attention to that, it would be beneficial for them, whether it's on the personal or the professional side of their priorities?
I think the most useful skill that any one person or the one lesson would be knowing yourself. Um, you know, not to get overly sort of philosophical or psychological, but if you spend the time to truly know yourself as deeply as possible, then whenever you sort of are choosing a direction or an area that you want to work, doing that in alignment with yourself and what makes sense for you will always seemingly unlock more willingness to work, more effort, more focus, and then hopefully, more success down the line for that. So that's one area that people can always put more time and, there's never necessarily like an end to that journey, but that's something that I think is probably the most valuable skill that we as human beings can have, and it's probably the most ignored right now.
Know thyself. Noted.
Yeah.
Is there a book, an event, or resource that fundamentally helped you become the leader that you are today and you would encourage the listeners to look into?
I think there's so much knowledge and information out there. It's sort of challenging to put forward any one specific resource because it depends on each person's sort of stage, position, and information they're looking for. One thing I would say, if you're looking to raise capital, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to go out and raise capital for your startup or anything like that, in that vein, there is a quick read book, very useful, called Venture Deals, which is a very good sort of introductory resource for people getting the lay of the land for capital raising and what to think about going out to raise money as a founder from angel investors or venture capitalists.
Great. Thank you. For those who want to follow your work, which, may want to reach out to you, what is the best way for them to connect?
They can obviously find Equivesto at the website, equivesto.com. You can find me on LinkedIn or on Twitter or X, also there.